So let's tell them about eating healthy food so they can have abundance of life.
Okay, all right, okay. So, uh, first we're going to talk about America being the most obese country
That's very important.
in the world. They produce foods based on production in order to make money. So therefore, they create the breakfast meals, the lunch meals, and the dinners meals back to back to back. When the human body really only has a stomach lining, if you put your hand out, no bigger than your fist. And they say if you put on your plate something the size of your fist, then you have enough food to fill your digestive system. But because of the greed of the country, it focuses on money and not necessarily the health aspect of the people. And so they promote having a hearty breakfast and promote having a good old lunch and then promote having some good dinner. But then it also promotes having these snacks in between. And so as a result, you see a population of people who are unhealthy based on weight because food is energy. And they're constantly putting this food in their system, and they're not even the best of foods. When you talk about food being energy, you're talking about good foods with nutritions that the body can pull from to have energy. But once the body starts feeding on these processed foods, on all these high sugar foods, then these type of foods are destroying the body because they don't go with the natural makeup of the human structure. And so therefore people carry a lot of weight from bad eating. You know, you got to have, the breakfast in the morning with 3 pancakes and hash browns and eggs and bacon or whatever. And then that's usually around 8 or 9 o'clock. Then 10, 12, 2 or 3 hours later, it's lunchtime again. Then you got to have the big Whopper number 2 or the number 1 or whichever one that, your eyes think you need. And so the body is consuming more than it actually needs to digest in a total day. Then after that, you have a big dinners. You're going to go to the steakhouse and get you a big 72 ounce with the, potatoes and all these other things. And therefore, now you go home and it's already late. It's 8 or 9 o'clock. You go down and you lay on that and it just sits on the body. Okay, so that creates a physical ailment within the human being. You start feeling sluggish. You start getting, stiffness in the joints because you're not moving the joints. And so therefore that takes away the quality of your life. So if an individual was to embrace the better way of eating, then they would take more care of their body and be cautious of what they put in the body. The body would then get energy from what they're putting in the body, and then the body would have more life because you wouldn't be tired. You wouldn't be sluggish. You wouldn't be, cramped up because you can't move. Okay. And so that's where eating properly can give a human being an abundance of life because you have more energy. You have more drive. You have more giddy up. And so therefore eating can help the physical aspect. So we said physical and we said mental. So mental, once again, we talked about what goes in the mind can inspire you compared to what goes in mind, which could pretty much basically, create the wrong posture, if you will, kick his butt after this instead of telling him, get thee behind me, Satan. That's the mental part of it. And the physical part we talked about, but then the spiritual part about it. Once again, if you're not feeding on the word of God, if you're not praying, if you will, meaning taking some personal time when everything is shut off, the phones and the Facebook and the TV and the Netflix and all this, and you shut all that off and you isolate yourself with that which you say you believe in, and you talk to them in your own way, however ritualistic you were taught to do it, you have that communication. And then after you have that communication, knowing you in quiet, then you have not because you ask not. But if you ask in your prayer for answers to what you're trying to solve or do or believe and achieve, then it will come to your heart. It will come to your mind. It will come to you as inspiration, answering the question that you raised when you sat quiet for a while and did the ritual which they call prayer. Okay, so that is why the spiritual and the mental and the physical relationship with your Creator helps you to gain an abundance, full life. Okay? Thanks for that question.